Might wonder what unifies the LOC. Well, there's going to be no acting this year, just talking. Didn't really have time to prepare a proper video that I thought was worthy of commission intro. So this is just where I will talk about our league. We are global number one. We got five countries represented in this league. Of course, myself as Canadian, many other Canadians, lots of Americans, and we have people from England, we have people from Serbia, and we have people from Germany. And honestly, I would love to see those numbers get up even more. So for some of you people overseas or even some of our North American friends, if you know some people maybe in South America, maybe more in Europe, I'm always open to getting some new referrals in, especially international referrals. Next, well, what keeps us unified? Well, how about the weekly recaps, everybody? For anyone that was around last year, the weekly recaps were added, and what a difference it made, right? I mean, to wake up every morning after football week is over and to go over the recap of every single league in the format of what happened, it really does unify the tiers. And I do think it unifies also the dynasties. So of course, we added the new dynasty this year, so we are now five leagues in the LOC format. And this year, once again, those weekly recaps will be featured, adding the new dynasty as well. Last but not least, we are the LOC family. It was funny. This league was once criticized for being a family league. It is a family league. We got wives in here. We got brothers in here. We might even have some sisters in here. Well, so we got a sister-in-law. So yeah, we are family. And honestly, for the teams that have been around a long time, I just want to say thank you. A lot of you have stuck up for me in a lot of scenarios where, I it felt like, is this really worth going on? And lots of shout outs to people like Dushan, Danny, Ryan. I could think of many more, but those are a few that I just think about that were there in certain situations when I really needed another voice, and you were there. So I just want to say thank you to this LOC family for sticking by my side. And really, it's you that makes this the best fantasy league out there. Thank you.
A few moments later.
Hey everyone, this is back. It's the commish back here with another draft preview, and this time we're featuring Krista and Storm out of the Maple Leaf. And yeah, it should be an interesting year for you. I know you used to have Derrick Henry for a number of years, and he's not on the roster anymore. And that was a huge change for you last year. Well, let me just get into your preview here. I'll share my screen, and we'll get right into it here. Get rid of that. All right, Krista and Storm. Here we go. All right, so the keepers. You're going to the balance here: two running backs, three wide receivers. Then, of course, the IDP that everybody has to keep. You must keep one minimum. Looking at the keepers here, you got the running back Blake Corum. The offseason reports that seem to be quite glowing for Blake Corum. The other thing too is it seems like the Rams have already basically told Kyron Williams it's going to be more of a split. Which, honestly, I think that could help both of these running backs, right? I think, lots of people are down on Kyron because of that news. It could very well benefit him. Comes on the field, he's more explosive because he's energetic, and that also might be the same for Blake Corum. I've heard a lot of detractors for Blake Corum say he's not really much of an elusive runner. He's more of a meathead, but I think he will get his carries this year. And yeah, the offseason reports and the training videos look electric. Jalen Warren, I think this is a guy that, I mean, he did sign a contract, I think, last year, right? But I don't know if they can get out of it after this year. Let's face it, you don't bring in Rico Dowdle if you're satisfied, right? But maybe they just want more of that Harris Warren role from before. But of course, there's a new coaching staff there now, right? So We'll have to see who's going to be the guy in Pittsburgh. And then wide receiver, Luther Burden. Here's a guy that looks like he's going to be set for a huge increase from his rookie season. And, Burden was definitely one of my favorite wide receivers coming out of the draft. Got him in Dynasty 1 and very happy that I still have him. Whether or not he's a WR1, it's hard to say. And this is the one thing I will say about your team, right? So Blake Corum, RB2, right? Let's face it, he still is, even though they might do a 50-50. I think Kyron's still the fantasy running back you want there. Jalen Warren, I think he's going to be RB2 too. Rico Dowdle, I think, is going to be the guy in Pittsburgh. Could be wrong, right? But we'll just have to wait to see how it plays out. Burden, is he going to be a one? I mean, there's a Dunze still there. So it's questionable whether or not Burden's going to be the one, or maybe it's the tight end, right? Loveland that gets most of the targets. Who knows? Jameson Williams, he's a number two, right? So great receiver, don't get me wrong, but barring an injury to Amon Ra, he's not going to get you WR1 numbers. And then Jordan Addison, clearly not the WR1 in Minnesota. It's Justin Jefferson. So that's the one thing I see on your team. There's no bona fide one, which, again, when you think about keeper quality, who's the best? That definitely hurts you. I think it puts you more in the middle to lower range. Frankie Louvu, yeah, we'll have to see on him. They did bring in the rookie, right? So wondering if Louvu is still going to be the main guy. They're getting the tackles. Looking at your recap last year, 15th place finish, 6-8. Pretty mediocre year, really, to be honest. Your career record is beautiful, 92-71. And I will throw this out there then. An 8-win season will get you 100 career wins, which is pretty cool to think about, really. When I look back at the consolation playoffs, well, it was the 15th place game. At least you got one higher pick. And you took out Swahino by 10.91 points. Really a bad, mediocre year for you and Swahino, who are, you two are usually up near the top or at least competing for sure. Even though 6-8 is still a competitive record, I'm sure you're hoping for better this year. Looking at the pick scenario, so again, I mentioned to start off this preview that you traded Derrick Henry, a guy that I think you had on your team for a very long time. I don't even know how long. Was it from the beginning? I don't even really remember. Was he around even then? I have no idea. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time. But you can see, what did you get out of it? Well, you got 20th overall, right? Not great, but the great thing about it is you also got 21st overall. So that back-to-back pick at the end of round one almost feels like two round ones, albeit late round ones. And you should be able to score some great offensive talent there. You got to think there's a lot of strategies you could employ. I'm sure nobody's really looked at the tight ends by then. Could you bag both of your tight ends there, right? Or do you bag, more running back help or bag the wide receiver help, or do you get that quarterback and balance it out? So you got lots of options there. 7th overall should bring you something good too. So the 2-2s, 2-1s definitely helps, better than obviously just an original pick scenario. Everything else is your original picks, but yeah, exciting first two rounds for you, that's for sure. And then you also got the extra round 11 and rounds 11 to 20. So, again, I think it's good to have those early picks in the mid rounds too. People seem to forget that's a lot of offensive depth there. I feel like you got, like, what I find in the draft, and for people watching this video, I mean, I don't care. These are just things I notice, and I try to help people out on these drafts previews. But one thing I notice is people start filling up the IDPs, right? And then, people with lots of picks, they're filling up that offensive depth. And by that, I mean the bench players. And people are picking IDPs, right? And sometimes we lose sight of that because we're like, oh, we got all their offensive players, but here we don't have good bench. And any injury, then you're hooped, right? So really got to map out when you're going to pick the IDPs versus bench players, depth. It's so much strategy involved in the draft, right? You can do whatever you want before the draft. Honestly, I think it can do shit for you. I think you just got to highlight a few players that you like, and then you just go for it, right? So. And then rounds 21 to 29 here, of course, the 3 picks you saw, the extra 3 picks in the first couple of slides there. So obviously no pick in 25, 28, 29, which, it does kind of feel nice to leave the draft early. It is a long marathon. Okay, so seventh overall here, best available according to Sleeper ADP. Well, again, I think you're going to go best available, but according to Sleeper ADP, that's going to be Jordan Tyson, Michael Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson, or Makai Lemon. I think any one of those four players would be a great addition, right, to the offense. So I think that makes you gotta make you feel good. I never did say was there any potential keepers that you could keep other than the guys you're keeping. I mean, not really, right? There's a Donai Mitchell having a good offseason, but of course there's Geno Smith there. That's not going to do you any good. You could consider upgrading at IDP if you could score one cheap here in the offseason. I know I posted a bunch there. Again, Luvu, who knows? But yeah, you didn't have much keeper quality players there for sure. And I think you're doing the right thing. Last but not least, and of course, this is the poll question for every team this year in the draft preview. I do think this is a cool little slide, the barometer slide, we can call it. Bottom four, no, like I've already mentioned it, no clear number one keeper. By that, I mean no number one on their team. And the one thing there is if you have injuries to your guys like any other team, it could put you there, right? So that's the case for bottom four. Consolation contender, a repeat of last year. Are you just another mediocre team? Again, I keep saying it, lack of keeper strength and bad spelling error there, and bad drafting could make it happen. Like anyone else, right? You could, not having to clear one and not coming in prepared would definitely hurt. Playoff team, this could very well be where you're going. I think you're going to be on the fringe if you are a playoff team based on what I see when every other team. You are in the tough division this year, and you're playing those teams two times, which will be the difference of you being here, whether or not you can beat the Mother Tuckers, the Green Lightnings, the Billsy Bobs, and of course the Six, right? And these guys have been obviously rivals of yours since the beginning, right? And then biggest competitors for the crown again appear. I think it is pretty much every team in the division, right? I always want to give credit to Cole. He's got a lot of picks. I have faith in what he's done in the past. I think he still has more top three finishes than any other owner ever in history. So you always got to watch out for Cole. And then, again, Billsy Bob's, he's really come on the last 4 years or so. Milan's kind of stuck in the mud here a little bit. And Mother Tucker, we don't know much about him. Second year here, I think, in tier one. Yeah, I think for him, we'll see. He's obviously loaded up on picks a little bit. And then champion. Well, what could happen? Injuries ahead of your twos. That's the theme of your preview twos as keepers puts them as ones and you nail every pick, right? So you could become champion if you nail every pick. There's an injury to Almond Raw, right? There's an injury to Justin Jefferson. Well, you could definitely be in the conversation for sure. Anyways, Krista, always a pleasure to have you in the league. I really still truly appreciate you being here for the 13 years that you've been in this league and actually spending the time to do the draft and the waivers and everything else because I know it does take a lot of time. So, anyways, I do appreciate it and hope you have a great season.